Back here inside the Whittemore Center, welcome to another week inside UNH women's ice hockey. Nate Bridges, Brian McCloskey, the head coach of the women's ice hockey program. Tough week for the Wildcats last week. 0-2, losses at Providence, at BU. Two big losses, if you will, Coach, 5-2, 6-2. What did you see in those games?
Well, games that we played well. Nate did some nice things. The score got away from us in both games quickly in the middle of the second at BU and right out of the gate at Providence. And we haven't been a team that we know that is deep enough to count on scoring 4 or 5 goals a night. So, but we did some really good things over the weekend, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that we deserve to win those games or that all is floating along or that we're satisfied. But we're making progress as a team, and we've got to keep looking forward. Obviously, we're heading out to Minnesota this weekend. We gave up an opportunity to get some points this weekend, and we've got to regroup and find ways to improve.
You and I were just talking informally off camera about goaltending, and right now you got Jen Gilligan and Lindsay Minton. As a head coach of a D1 program, how do you go about evaluating these goaltenders and deciding just who will play on a given day or week ahead?
Well, we're fortunate to have Rob Day working with our kids this year, and Rob obviously is very experienced. He's been doing it for 20 years and probably one of the best goalie coaches in New England. So I rely a lot on Rob. I watch the goalies and I look at them in practice and I see, subtle things, but in reality that's such a specialized position, and Rob does such a good job with the three of them that I really defer to him, and we discuss it every week and who's where. And we've got it's been an interesting group. I mean, we haven't had the success in net that I know those three would like to have. I mean, we've got freshman Jen Gilligan and Mo Bradley. Jen's played the majority of the games and has done well. Her numbers aren't very kind to her, and sometimes numbers are misleading. Ultimately, they tell the tale. But, I think consistency's been an issue for Jen. She's played really well over stretches, and she's a big athletic kid. We had a situation on Sunday where we went to Providence. Lindsay, who's played well over 3 years here, was thrown into the fire after being off for 3 weeks, and Providence jumped right out, caught on us right away, got a quick goal, and it seemed to put us back on our heels. And before you could know it, 4 minutes in, we're down 3 goals. And when it went to 4, in the middle of the period, second period, I decided it was an opportunity to maybe get Lindsay out of that game, not let her just hang. And we put Mo Bradley in, and Mo, it was her first game action as a freshman, and the game seesawed from that point in terms of flow. Providence had plenty of chances, but Mo stood really tall, and that was encouraging for her and for us. Because right now our goaltending situation isn't, it's not clear as who is going to run with the ball, and all three are still vying for ice time.
Now, these games against Providence and BU, as mentioned, gave up some goals, outscored on the weekend 11-4. I was watching practice last week, and it looked like your squad you guys were trying to work on some drills, some breakout drills.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that, especially with such a young team. I mean, of course, you work on the defensive end and the offensive zone, especially on the special teams as well, but it looked like you guys were focusing a lot on breaking out of the neutral zone and just trying to attack the zone. Yep. Has that been a problem, do you think, this year so far?
It's been a challenge for us this year, Nate, because we've got 3 freshmen on the blue line and a sophomore and 2 juniors. And then, when you get into this level, the transition speed accelerates a big enough notch up that you don't have the extra second to move the puck. In my opinion, we've created a lot of our own headaches this first month and a half by our play with the puck, not so much our play without the puck. And we're just not putting the puck where we need to. We're making some bad decisions, and we're not executing. And so, hockey is a game of turnovers, like every sport, and when you're putting the puck in the wrong places at the wrong times, you're gonna put yourself at a disadvantage. And so, I think we're spending a lot of time on working on trying to help our kids make more consistent decisions and execute better with the puck.
How do you keep such a young team focused? Only 2 seniors on the roster. You're really relying on captains that are juniors and sophomores. How do you keep such a young group focused, especially when you're still searching for that first league win of the season?
I think the key is you can't focus on results. I mean, results don't mean much right now. We're trying to, help our team understand what goes into winning at this level, and we see a lot of good signs that different players are doing up front, back in that. I think the key is to focus on getting better, finding ways to improve, and encouraging our kids to, go the extra mile to pay attention to the details that we're stressing and not get caught up in win, lose, all bad bounce. When the game's on, of course, you're going to strive to win, and the competition, competitive spirit takes over. But at this juncture, for us, it's about getting better down the stretch and over the second half. And we're young. We don't have enough numbers, but we're doing some excellent things. And we've got to keep pointing in that direction, because I truly believe it's going to result in some key wins in the second half, or if not the second half of this first semester. And, we really as a group are showing signs of, good energy, great commitment, and good camaraderie. So it's not like we're going in the locker room and saying, "Oh boy, it's a mess." There are some some breakdowns that are costing us in these key games, but I like a lot of what I see, and I'm very optimistic that this group's going to turn it around.
And finally, you don't want to put too many of your opponents up on a pedestal, but for some of these younger players, going to the University of Minnesota to play a 2-game weekend set is going to be special. It's going to be your first trip out there since the Frozen Four back in '06, and that was even a game that was played at Mariucci. It wasn't even at Ritter Arena. So just talk a little bit about this coming weekend and what the attitude is like, and what you are expecting from a very, very difficult Golden Gopher squad.
Yeah, well, they're clearly one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country, and they've got a bevy, maybe 10, 12 national team caliber kids, or kids who are vying for the Canadian or U.S. national program. It's a deep squad. They've had a lot of success historically and recent, so ranked second in the country. We're going to have our hands full. We're going to be physically challenged. I think the key for us is going to be, can we go into that kind of an environment and have some success in terms of our team play and executing and our game plan. And as you said, some of them are going to go in there and a little wide-eyed and so forth. It's a very positive experience for our team. We'll see where the score ends up, but I'm looking at this group. This group can play at a higher level than we've shown over 60 minutes, and so I'm not going in there fearful or whatever. I'm going in there trying to see how we can help our kids take that experience and use it going forward. And clearly, we'll be challenged, but that's the exciting part of sport.
Off day for the Wildcats behind us here today. They leave on Thursday to take a trip out to the University of Minnesota. Friday and Saturday, of course, all the action you can follow, UNHWildcats.com. And, of course, for more on this UNH women's ice hockey program, UNHWomensIceHockey.com. Brian McCloskey, Nate Bridges, we'll see you next week with the captain of the Wildcats, Kaylee Chappell, and we'll see you next week.